Horowitz of Andreessen Horowitz fame tells a story of his time at Netscape when they were badly trailing Microsoft in the IIS space. He said about repositioning a product that was clearly inferior. And then one day a veteran colleague who had been through tech wars hit him upside the head with a proverbial 2x4, telling him that while he was looking for a silver bullet, what he really needed was a bunch of lead bullets. We see a similar situation with intent data. Normally, if a company has used some form of third-party intent data, they've realized that the data itself doesn't solve anything. It takes analysis, it takes work, but frequently companies that are new to intent data may approach it with some incorrect assumptions. And sadly, I'll tell you, those assumptions have often been encouraged by intent data vendors. So let's level set for this conversation. Let's talk about 7 lead bullets that are required to unlock the power of intent data. And I'm going to answer this question or have this discussion from the perspective of contact level intent data. That's a more refined and powerful version than most of what floats around, but it's an important qualifier for this conversation. So first, you've really got to understand the buyer. The problems they want to solve, the ideal customer profile at the account level, the personas at the individual level, even the arc of their journey and more. Intent data, of course, can help to flesh that out, but you've got to have it pretty well figured out to start. Second, you have to have the right mindset, culture, and technology to analyze the data and integrate multiple sources. That might be multiple third-party data sets like G2 or Bombora along with IntentData.io. And it could be first-party data, everything you capture on your site integrated with the third. But simply pumping thousands of signals into CRM or marketing automation platforms just adds to data bloat. You need the insights to inform and drive the action. Third, you have to have great copywriting. And I'm frankly stunned at the number of really hot companies that approach us about intent data and have abysmal email and social ad copy. Just stop it. Fourth, you've got to be willing to segment. And that means micro-segment, so that you're really effectively identifying the right group for the right message at the right time. Fifth, building on that segmentation, you've got to personalize. You've heard this, I know it's been the buzzword of marketing for the last couple of years, but seriously, if your typical complex buying team has 5 roles, maybe 3 seniorities, and there's 4 clear stages in the buying journey, that means you need 60 sets of messaging for website, email, paid ads, chatbots, etc. Sixth, omnichannel means more than just blasting emails out of your sales acceleration platform. Outreach and SalesLoft are amazing technology, and email still works if it's well written. But you need custom audience-driven nurturing, direct 3D mail at the right time, great phone scripts and events and more. And all of those elements have to be dynamic and orchestrated. And seventh, marketing operations has to build process and playbooks to create the enablement content and awareness to make sure the campaigns are effectively run. You have to have a well-refined process and you have to follow it. Now, one more point on all of this. It takes time. Companies often iterate, starting with the analysis piece first, then maybe adding paid custom audience ad campaigns and some outbound email cadences and more. So a company needs time to determine if intent data will work for them, if they have the resources and the right kind of market in which it can be effective. Then they need time to experiment. But all while in the background, technology and buyer behaviors are changing. So an important question to ask early on is, what's a reasonable approach to subscriptions? We see lots of 1-year contracts and more 3-year contracts. Newsflash, those aren't about you, the customer, obviously. That's about the vendor satisfying their investors. So as you experiment with different data types and models and approaches, be sure to retain the flexibility you need to try different data sources, activation approaches, and even test the premise of data in your market.